so far. I hope everyone's had their breakfast, or those who are fasting continue. The Lord has given me something to acknowledge and where we are now in this part of the growing and the growth to manifest that which is a fruitful way. And that fruitful way is making sure that we obtain the glory with knowledge, and to make sure that we are not to be boastful. And some of us that are in the midst of bringing forth what we have learned from the Lord. I have so much to say. I don't know if I have enough time or battery life to do this on the cell phone, but I'm just saying right now, the Lord told me to say with my soul, check with the Lord, do not boast. Do not be not boastful. What is the definition of being boastful? Is pride. Some people can get too puffed up and too prideful. But when you are boasting of yourself and what you do, you can mislead a people to believe that you will be focused as the God, versus why we are in the ministry to serve, and to serve the Lord God. The Lord God is a being, a person, and he is in the midst all over the world and in the earth. And you, for being like God, you are in the image like God, but you cannot be worshipped like if you were a God. So be careful on the way that you articulate your message. Do not boast yourself to be as if you are God, he, him. No. There is a collective way expressing himself in a measure of a nation, and all nations can come against you if you believe that you are the bee's knees, as a demonstration that he is Lord. I believe that if you read in the book of Job, where people may have had a mentality to focus on one man who had it all, and he had everything, and he was favored with man and with God and with beasts and all the richness. But the problem, if a people focused all on that one man and negate or don't have an interpretive knowledge to focus on what's outside, which is the Lord God, because all of that God created is outside. The Lord God himself can raise up from the outside and take that focus that you had on one man and remove it, so that you can know that he is to be reverenced as the Lord. So with that being said, if you boast, if you are being boastful and you boast about you, Nebuchadnezzar went through that too in the Bible. If you say that you were the one and you were the only one that did it all, and if you said that, which I've never said that, I have never said, I'm not that crazy. I would never say that. I do know that there's a Lord amongst us, the Lord God who created all things. And to have it all put on one person was obviously something to experience yesterday. I had this experience that made me so angry, because there was a people who collectively, and it was, I don't know if it was the Lord trying to show me something, but it was a measure of people who practice something as an organized, orchestrated thing. And they came up with an idea, like the Tower of Babel. They came up with an idea that thought would work, but the Lord saw what they did, and it was recorded in a specific place that God disagreed with it. God had his temperament about it. God sent his servant to destroy it. God sent his servant to definitely destroy it and another servant to take it. And it should not ever happen again. If it's continual and it keeps being practiced when God disagreed with it and you keep practicing it, and the orchestrated people once before, they cannot come together no more to orchestrate that thing ever again. If a new set of people tries to return to perform it again, and God disagreed with it in the first place, and he took it and he gave it a name to put in the file for man, and it's recorded as a law or a rule and a command to give to a ruler to make sure that it doesn't take place, or if it does, then there's what's called what? The sword of death. Okay? The weapon of death. The sword of death. If that sword approaches you, and you will see signs of its coming because it was something that you were not to ever do. And some people had tried it before, and you trying to step in to try to fulfill something that you knew not about, and you was getting attacked. Well, that means if you got an attack and you had an attack on you, that means something was practiced or someone was attempting to try to practice it again. And then you had to go find out why. Well, I had that experience yesterday. I was trying to figure out why was I. And the Lord, I believe the Lord was trying to reveal to me something to take heed to. And when he revealed to me that attack, I went public. I went viral. I sure did. I went so viral with it that I found out that it was something similar that happened before some years ago. And a pastor was even found behind that kind of work. And he got in trouble behind it. So, having to have said that, what the Lord God is going to do, and or what he's not what he's going to do, what he's already done is this. Some of us can live in a peaceful place with the Lord. He is our shepherd. And because the Lord had already placed that to be rule, and amongst other things, rely on and trust on the Lord, and he'll tell you where not to go, who not to talk to. Don't go there. Don't do this. Just make sure you follow. And he has put together a gift to prophets who can see and foresight and say, the Lord is not going to want you to do that in 2 weeks. When that time comes, just make sure on Thursday, do not do that on Thursday. Don't. In November, you will see the hand of God in a mighty way. Twice. Then you will also recognize that the Lord had already manifested his love for your life, because there will be 2 doors that's going to be open next year, February, March. But in October, love on God the whole month of October. Love on him harder than ever. Because that's going to be more given to your ministry and given to you bountifully, abundantly. Also, there may be a baby that will be born in February, and God has already conceived. He's just going to make sure that it manifests. He's conceived already yesterday. Whew. So the conception has taken place. Now, whenever he speaks it, what was conceived shall come to pass. And stay beautiful as much as you can. Work on it. And what's another thing? This is from, oh, one more thing. What man had transgressed and what man has put to a rule, the things that was not of obedience, God had manifest a woman to carry out what was to be obedience, but the belly to the woman went into travail. It was a travailing cry, and that cry was a cry out to where she had required a place like a well to speak and to say of a particular man, so that she would be able to tell others to come and see him. The door to her was open for a man to come to see him. That particular way was created, but there was a revelation from out of come and see him. When he saw, he delighted in the way, but the things of his heart and mind had to be expressed. And those things were only for one man, one particular man. There was another man who was present, but he had to be there. The time was going to be manifested for his time to come and see. But the path was estranged to a particular rule and judgment for him. But what was expressed was the woman who told him by way, the place where it's small as a crumb to as great as deep as a well, to the path at his feet where an alabaster box would meet. We'll meet. We'll meet. Be ready. He will meet thee.